I love the spooky ghost. Have you listened to the spooky Discord call?
I haven't heard that one yet.
If you call somebody, it's like spooky.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
I
It's
didn't.
really
I
neat.
didn't. I don't have that one yet. Slasher left.
He
What? It,
did.
what?
Well, we just ran out of stuff to talk about, really.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. What was just? I heard he was defending some dumb ass shit, and you were doing your best, but there's only so much one man can do.
I,
What was he saying?
I think that his side of the argument is just not an argument that I'm like really interested in feeling.
Oh, I
which is-
didn't. I didn't tell you what.
Yeah,
Here, let me tell you. I could send you screenshots, but I assume you'll just believe me that this is true.
I
But
will
hold on,
believe
I'll
you.
tell you through.
You don't have to send me screenshots. I don't need. But yeah, you can if, but I don't. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Woo! I heard about the. Yeah. Oh, baby.
The last one was yesterday. Oh wait, and there's I think there's one more. It was on the subreddit, and then I had them to remove it.
Good
But
Lord.
I think, yeah, this is why I'm saying I think like just the big one right there is those first two.
Yeah.
That's like a huge amount. Like that's one of the big things that ads are constantly used for there. So and by the way, you know how I know that?
Mhm.
Because the person in charge of that told me that
Yeah.
personally. They reached out to me, not the other way around.
Mhm.
But you can probably say, like, you could say, oh, Twitch has probably lost more than half of its ad budget, probably close to 70% at this point. They have, and it's not going to come back until Dan Clancy steps down.
Maybe not even then, right?
Maybe not even then, because
Mhm.
Twitch doesn't. It's just such a brand. It's so unsafe for ads, and it's completely Dan Clancy's fault, literally.
Mhm.
Like he did. Why would he invest in the shit he did? Like every single person, I think, inside of Twitch and outside of Twitch said, why are you spending all this resources on this fucking join at like the knock to join thing that no one's used
Yeah.
ever, right?
Mhm.
Think about all that resources that could have been going into having ad targeting on correct channels or all this other shit. It's crazy to me.
Word, dude. I'm so on board with you. Yeah.
I think the thing we don't agree on, like I retweeted your thing and you said that you think that they should get rid of politics. The problem is I don't think it's sustainable because you're still going to have people like Steve that would play Counter-Strike or not Counter-Strike. The fuck am I talking about? Play StarCraft and talk about shit while he's doing it. I think the solution just has to be a actual unbiased trust and safety team that has real rules. Like it works on YouTube somehow. Why? Why does it work on YouTube? Because they're actually unbiased. Like
but
which
because
is
they're machines.
yeah. Yeah, and they're well that too, right? They
But
built
that's
out
why.
the tech. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess like this is the thing like I want to like bounce off you, right? Like I feel like it's actually impossible for Twitch to have impartial moderation. Like actually, unless they build a CDN. Like if
Well,
they,
here's
but
the
they've had
thing.
10 years to do that. Yeah.
I don't know if it's impossible to do it. I think it's possible to get close because there's ways that you can do it. So first of all, we can both agree that right now it is the opposite of impartial. You would agree with
100%.
that?
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
so far woke, like communist, anarchist left. It's like it's tilted. There is no it's
Whatever
like,
is
the
it, whatever it
scale-
is, it's not partial. Yeah.
Yeah, the scale is
Mhm.
all the way on the floor, right? If it's like the scale of justice thing, like one of them is all the way to the ground. It's not like a little bit. So the problem is, I think that if you make it equal, actually, right? That first off, that's good. It's good for the platform, but you can still do stuff that if it's not perfect, right? Here's the whole thing. I think it's okay, believe it or not, if you get banned by mistake. Okay, like if they ban you because you said something that was a little bit unhinged, and you get banned for that, and you put in an appeal. I think a good idea is that like maybe you can pay money if you think you're actually wrong. Okay, you can pay money and maybe you get so many free per year. You get like one free appeal per year or something based on your viewership count or something. But you put an appeal and guess what? You can actually have a round table with the Twitch trust and safety people or some delegation and some streamers that volunteer for it and maybe get paid to do it. And then you're actually represented by your peers and by Twitch. Now you're saying, Dan, what other company does this? None of them. But Twitch seems unique in not being able to know how to handle this problem. I don't understand why it's only a problem for Twitch and not for YouTube. YouTube just must be the fucking shit, honestly, at the end of the day.
Well, can we talk about that? Because a lot of
I don't know how I don't know how YouTube does it. That's the answer. I think that they're really good at like knowing what's crosses their line. I think they have like insanely detailed TOSs that don't ban you if you just say like the word Jew. They won't ban you, right? It's not stupid like that.
They have data. So what's happened is over the course of literally since 2017, right? Every video has been thrown into training data to inform a system that says this is okay for advertising and this isn't, that has been rated by the advertisers over that same amount of time. So those advertisers have basically built not an automated system that then can dictate with near perfection what is and isn't okay. But the problem is that took them an adpocalypse, millions of dollars, tons of time, like literally 7 years to perfect, right? And Twitch should have started on this a decade ago, and they don't have a single thing going towards that system. And I think I agree with you too, where Twitch is a rather unique example.
What is so rotten inside of Twitch's culture that the employees haven't made a statement? How, let me forget that part. How incompetent is the fucking CEO that they're not making a statement as every day they're bleeding more advertisers? Maybe they would be like, okay, I got to step down before I destroy this company.
Yeah, it's a great question.
What the fuck is going on? Why?
I don't know. I wish I knew that. That's a really good question.
Like, I feel like if I was Dan Clancy's boss, I'd be like, okay, let's see. First thing everyone always does. Let's wait this out. It might just blow over in a day or two, right?
Yeah.
But now you're seeing it's not blowing over in a day or two. Now it's only getting worse every day after every day. At what point do you say, you got to go, bro? You're fucking going to destroy this company. I'm so shocked. But I'm actually, so there's that part that I'm shocked about, the incompetence. But I'm saddened by the lack of an internal letter from people at Twitch saying that they don't approve and that Dan Clancy should step down. That's disappointing. That's fucking sad, is what it is.
Do you think that the people at Twitch understand the gravity of the situation yet? I don't think they do. Like the employees.
No,
I think this is being kept very close to the chest at a very high level right now.
That's probably fair.
Yeah.
I would hope. Well, actually, I don't know. It's been all over live stream fails, and I feel like a lot of Twitch employees probably browse shit like that for fun. They
might just think it's another drama, like
their jobs are literally on the line, and they're saying nothing. That's what's crazy about it.
But they probably don't understand the damage that has been done at an actual, like, this is the first time that something like this has gone by. Like, to the outsider, it looks like just a normal drama thing. Like, oh, it's like about Hassan versus Destiny or something. Like, it'll probably blow over.
Exactly.
But like internally, people don't understand, and probably staff doesn't understand that, like, this is the first time that real damage has been done via advertisers, and like that this is as you say, an existential threat to the platform.
You know, here's the thing that hasn't even started yet. There's two things that haven't even started, which is what's even crazier. So far, there's only been two things that have happened to Twitch: bad publicity, okay, like bad stories, bad press, and advertiser pullout. You know what hasn't happened yet? Anything involving, for like the last 3 days, I was like mobilizing people to call their congressman and do
legislation. Yeah.
All of these congressmen have this on their fucking menu right now, and this is the perfect story for all of them, especially if they're like a fucking Republican congressman. It's like this far left woke site banned Israel for a year. That is like, okay, I'm getting elected now type of shit to use against them. Like there must be like some, I don't know. I'm guessing that they're all collaborating, but the thing that's crazy is so far the first one to come out against it was a fucking Democrat. It's wild. But it is the perfect story. Because if you're a Democrat, you can hate Amazon because it's like a union busting, mom and pop destroying company that that hates Jews. And if you're on the right, you can hate it because it's a far left woke apparatus that let the fucking like the animals take control of the zoo, and now like they banned Israel for a year. Like everyone across the board can point at Twitch and say this is a diseased company.
I agree, for whatever reason. Yeah.
Well, I'm imagining that right now, the shit that's going to come up is that there's going to be, I'm imagining that congressmen are going to start, if they haven't already, calling to be like, I want to talk with Twitch and find out what the fuck is going on. Constituents in my neighborhood want to know why you banned Israel. And,
that's scary.
You know what else is scary? You know what else is scary? Normally, so anti-BDS laws.
Yeah. Did you look into that? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I did. So if you take government money, you sign a pledge that you can't boycott Israel. Basically.
Okay.
Right. So you can boycott Israel. You do not have to sell products to Israel. But if you take government grants, and believe me, Amazon takes government fucking grants.
Yeah.
Twitch probably takes government grants.
Almost certainly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And part of that is that you do not get to boycott Israel. And these guys literally, passively, through incompetence or anti-Semitism, banned Israel functionally and truly.
That's scary. Okay, so can you run me back the law again? Like how does the actual like law work? You're not allowed
these are state laws, not federal laws, to be clear. And basically it's called boycott, divest, and sanction. And essentially, if you get if you get money from the government, they basically make you, as part of the terms of getting money from the government, pledge that you will not boycott Israel.
Wow. Okay. And what happens if you break it? Like who
There's
comes
a
after you?
the government. There's a page of it. It's a
But
crime.
but which division of the government comes after you? Is the FCC?
Let's see. Anti-BDS enforcements. There's a whole Wikipedia page of
Like, is it
that.
fucking Lena Khan or someone? Like, who comes after you? It's probably Lena, right?
I am not sure on this one. This is what I'm Googling right now. So the
Mhm.
most recent one, like there's so many, I have to go by state. Number one, Alaska. On February 19th, 2024, by administrative order of Alaska, Governor Dunleavy stated that all state contracts must include a clause that support the participation of boycott or Israel and shall be grounds for termination of the contract. Like, holy shit. Okay, I need to find the cases of people getting sued.
Oh wait, it's a state thing. Chat's
Yeah,
saying it's a
it's
state thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, didn't I say that? It's a state law.
Oh
It's-
no,
it's
I missed
state-
it. It was my mistake. I thought it was federal. So if it's state, then it's just the individual states that choose to prosecute it, right?
Yeah.
Which means you potentially have like 50 enemies instead of one, or 20.
I didn't
or
actually
whoever.
think about that. That's
Yeah.
actually fucking true.
Yeah.
Because Twitch does business in all states.
In all
if you
states.
think about it.
Yeah.
Right. Because
Mhm.
oh my god, they're actually fucked if people do that.
Yeah.
I thought like, oh, it's only California can fuck them. No, it's
every
everyone in
state.
any state. Oh, wait a minute. They're so fucked.
Yeah. that's a nightmare.
Wait a minute. I thought it was. I was thinking it just like you. I was like, oh, it's just they have to deal with just California.
Yeah, or just the
It's
FCC or something.
Every state.
Yeah, it'd
that
be
has
like
a
20
BDS
lawsuits
law.
simultaneously, right? Like, and all
Okay.
like state government and everything. Yeah.
Dude, it's not just that. You know that there's a class action coming from everyone that's an Israeli streamer. Because think about it, all of them for the last year were not able to have people
Yeah, true.
create accounts. And even though the Twitch TOS probably explicitly says we're allowed to do that type of thing, you think Amazon is going to fight that lawsuit? Like, hey, you banned all Jews for a year? Or do you think they're going to settle immediately?
They'd settle immediately. Yeah, 100%. Oh, and then like you also have to deal with like international law because that goes into like international courts because the Israeli streamers are suing across country lines, right? So like, oh my god, it's a shit show. This is a nightmare. It's like pretty much the worst situation they've ever been in.
I don't know. I was trying to think of this before, but I don't know of a more I don't want to say scandalous because like shit like the Hunter Biden laptop was scandalous or things like that are scandalous. But I don't know of an action where a tech company specifically has taken such a direct by itself anti-Semitic action. Like I'm not talking about like YouTube has a bunch of bad content on its site that it cleans up. I'm talking about like the employees of this company have put into place policies and then banned Israel. It's like so unbelievable. I don't know of anything that's bigger than this, but maybe you know something. I'm trying to think. Like
the closest equivalent, and that's why I made that equivalent to my tweet, was the Adpocalypse in 2017 was pretty equivalent to this, but that was like an existential threat for YouTube. Truly, like
that wasn't that wasn't like YouTube specifically was doing something like the anti-Semitic. Like they weren't targeting Jews. They were just really shitty at where they showed ads.
The result was the same. Was that like the argument was that like hateful content was showing up against, like basically the result was the same, that like if you have extremist content on any side, it's showing up next to an ad for like Mazda. And like that's just not okay, right? That was the same. It was a different way we got there, but we had the same problem. And YouTube was like all hands on deck, and I think like people don't remember it because it was it was so long ago. But like there was a real question mark if like YouTube was going to make it through. Like anybody at Google at that time would tell you that like it was like I don't know, and I don't think that like so the thing is Google as a business saw YouTube as a platform that it could have a future on. And so they looked at YouTube and they said, look, like we're willing to put in the millions, maybe billions of dollars of investment because we think this is where video is going to live. And we think that it is going to be the future of content. And that was a good bet. But Amazon doesn't have that same faith in Twitch, right? Like Twitch has already demonstrated that live streaming is kind of a niche thing, that it's like very specific demographic. It's like power users with like long, like average viewer duration. There's no argument to be said that like the future of live streaming is TikTok. It's already that's already been established. So I don't think Amazon is going to back Twitch in the same way where they're like, oh yeah, like cool, like we'll put you.
Can I ask you?
Yeah,
this is a tough question, and what's more likely to happen first?
Mm-hmm.
Dan Clancy to get fired, or for them to just say that we're divesting of Twitch and they're selling it?
Ooh. I can tell you a little bit more about this offline later.
Yeah. Well, you could just say which one you think is more likely, and
Uh-huh.
you can say I have information. But yeah, like, because I'm thinking, I like to fire a CEO, you got to bring someone else in, and if they're like, we just want to get rid of this fucking thing, fuck it, because it's run at a loss for years, and I think it's losing more and more money every year. And actually, I think, believe it or not, I think the worst thing to happen to Twitch is actually all the Spanish streamers coming in there, because it's insanely expensive, and the ads down there do not cover the cost
Yeah.
of supporting all of that.
Yeah, it's all tier
Like, if that,
2. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, right? So
Yeah.
like, normally people think, oh man, I can't wait to have 500,000 people from Brazil that I have to support with like a million servers, but it's like there's like 4 advertisers that know about it and will do it.
Yeah.
There's just, yeah.
Yeah,
I still think that Dan Clancy will get fired before the site shuts down. I
I
hope.
I wonder if the calculus is, okay, Dan steps down and then we bring in like an Amazon level VP who's like willing to make significant
Yep.
cut costs and then push the website further towards like monetization and further towards like I think that's the most likely outcome. Yeah.
You have to get rid of Twitch Prime, obviously.
Yep. You have to.
You-
It's
gotta-
you have to.
Twitch Prime's got to go, and then they have to. I'll tell you what I would do if I was the new CEO of Twitch. I have a plan for Twitch right now. Okay, if they're looking for a CEO, I will put Redact on the side for a little bit, and I will come in. Tell me about what you think about. You ready to think about my plan? Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Step one, obviously there's going to be equal enforcement of the law across the board, right?
Yeah.
We're not getting rid of politics or free speech or anything, or sorry, getting rid of just chatting or any of that. Okay, that all stays, but there's actual rules. Doesn't matter if you're the biggest person on the site or the shittiest one. If you have a nip slip, it doesn't matter if you're someone with 10 streamers or 10 viewers or 100,000. Same punishment. So that said, I have a strategy. So Twitch Prime's got to go, but we are going to empower you and the users to make more money. How fucking stupid is Twitch that they tried to charge such an insane tax on bit? How stupid.
Yeah.
Do people not think that, like, hey, Streamlabs is a whole thing? Maybe you should think about integrating the donate button in a way where people get a much larger cut, to the point where people don't want to use Streamlabs, where they want to use your system because it's much better converting, because they don't have to go to PayPal and do it. They don't do that. So the first step is to bring in more monetization option directly for the streamer itself. Make the streamer feel like they own their page. So the twitch.tv/Devin Nash shouldn't just be a video and a chat. You should really be able to customize this across the board and make it feel like it's your home. You should be able to put your YouTube videos there. You should be able to send emails to your greatest subscribers. It should be a pseudo Patreon page, if you will, for your greatest people. Your home on the internet right there. And the amount of money that they would make from fucking doing that would be undoing just that system right there. But instead, they focus on the most cringe bullshit, on chasing ad dollars, which is never going to get there. Like, Patreon shouldn't exist. Patreon should be something that Twitch has built into its system.
Yes, 100. So well, I completely agree with you. Yeah, and the fact that Patreon takes 8% and Twitch takes 50%, it's like, why would
it's like,
why
it's
would
like
it ever?
Insulting.
Yes,
it's like, hey Jake, yo, what's up, Dan? Hey man, so we got this new Twitch Bits product. How much you think we should how much should we charge? Can we tax them? Oh, I don't know. What do you think? Like 50? Like half? That seems fair, right? It's like, okay, like, so yeah, you can get this, but it's like, how much does this hinder your growth? Like, just be smart. Make people want to go to Twitch because it's like the best platform. It lets you do everything there. Like, think about this. I do a live stream on YouTube, right? Obviously Destiny is banned, so there's a part of this that doesn't really fit in here, but let's say that he wasn't banned on Twitch and he was banning let's say he wasn't banned on Twitch and we were streaming on Twitch. We would still be using Patreon.
Yeah,
why? Why? Explain that to me right there. Why am I using Patreon when all I do is video content?
Why are we using Reddit to upvote clips? Why don't we have twitch.tv/clips? Everybody bitches about live stream fail. Like, if we just had twitch.tv/clips that literally was the exact same system as fucking Reddit was, and you could click an up arrow and then the clip gets served to you. Holy fuck. It's been 10 years. Like, why are we relying on Reddit for our marketing as a website? Yeah, it's so many things like this.
I have to feel, see, now that you're saying this, you're making me feel bad. Like, maybe Dan Clancy isn't anti-Semitic. Maybe he's just a fucking retard. Because these things are so obvious. They're so fucking obvious, and he doesn't do them. Like,
This is a
I
guy
don't, I don't know.
who
I
came
don't
up.
know.
This is a guy, okay, that came up on TwitchCon. He showed up, okay, and he comes up on the platform and he says, "We haven't updated our mobile app in 7 years." And I was like, I was here on stream. I was like listening to the thing, like just going through the TwitchCon, and it's like, "We haven't updated the app in 7 years," and I like had to pause it. I was like, "What? Like, what do you mean? That's like 45% of your users. You haven't updated your app in 7 years? Like, what is this?" So that's why, like, just the sheer level of incompetence that happens at Twitch is it's almost staggering. To the point of, like, I don't blame you for that thought process. Like,
it's like conspiracy level. Like,
it is. It's like
it's
you'd have to be.
level.
Yeah.
You have to think that they're so fucking stupid and incompetent to have it not be anti-Semitic. That's what it is. That's actually the perfect way. There are only two options. Twitch is fundamentally ran by some of the dumbest motherfuckers of all time, from the top to the bottom, every step of the way. Okay, because that code I saw posted online, that wasn't that amazing either. So that's option one. That these people I'm talking about, they are the dumbest marketers, the dumbest advertisers, the dumbest trust and safety team, the dumbest analytics team, the dumbest executive team, the dumbest support team, the dumbest engineers. Every single person there has to be so fucking stupid to not catch that you banned Israel for a fucking year. So that's option number one. Okay. And I was like, that can't possibly be the case. That can't possibly be the case. That's option number one. Or option two is that they're just anti-Semitic. And it's like, oh, well, Occam's razor.
Mm-hmm.
There either has to be a million things that leads to them being not anti-Semitic, and just one thing that's like, or sorry, for them to be incompetent, but only one thing for them just to like hate Jews. It's the stupidity. Like, I think genuinely, I run my company better than, like, I would not miss that I banned Israel for a year. And that's like, I get like 4 sales off of that a year. I wouldn't miss that.
Yeah.
How stupid are they? And why would you leave a CEO in charge that made this mistake? It's unbelievable.
Can I ask you a question? Like, what do you say? And I just, like, genuinely want to hear your opinion and your take. Like, what do you say that Dan hasn't had, like, Clancy hasn't had enough time as CEO to make these?
He's had enough time. Here's how I know they've had enough time. If you put me in there, if you put yourself in there, okay, here's how it's going to go. Day one, okay, you have changes. You have certain things you can't change right away because of contracts. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of it, it's like, okay, you spend the first 2 weeks deciding, what are we building? Where are we going? So we've talked a little bit about that so far. We're building a Patreon. We're going to make Twitch for our creators. This is going to be their destiny.gg. They're going to own their users. They're going to have the ability to email them. They're going to have the ability to have like a Patreon experience on site. We're going to do more discoverability features. You don't have to go to Reddit to find the funniest clips across all of Twitch. All of that stuff we're going to build. Okay, great. What do we not want to focus on moving forward? Okay. Well, I think ads are a distraction. So let's get rid of most of the ad team and just keep the core relationships that make up like 70% of our revenue. And let's not worry about the other 30%. Let's just drop those people. It's too much of a distraction. We'll have some ads. We have Amazon backing us. That's fine. We'll do that. But in general, that's not our strategy moving forward. We would like to go to a completely ad-free experience if we could, ideally. Then you start making the changes. You get rid of the people that do not fit into the vision of that moving forward. So that probably means getting a brand new trust and safety team because they've lost all trust. That probably means investing in better technology for AI so that you don't have to have 1,000 people in Egypt clicking deny on every clip coming in. That probably means hiring like a pretty good, competent team to run your tech stack instead of people that have been there for 20 years and are just skating by. Whatever. So it's a bunch of changes. But I tell you, if you had all those things in place, like, you can build with money. You can build a website and these features. It doesn't take years. Act like a fucking startup. Everything that we've talked about in this call, you could get done in 6 months or less.
You're right. An exacting CEO would, like, someone that like Shopify or Satya or someone that would come in, like, would fix this in like 6 months, no problem. Yeah, they just
and they would have that shit rolled out in 6 months, not just fixed it.
Yep,
they would have rolled it out in 6 months
because they completely replaced the engineering teams. They buff everybody up. They literally do like an Elon style thing where it's like they send an email out to like, tell me what work you got done this week, and if you can't respond, like, you're out. Like, it'd be that kind of shit. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, so it basically, fundamentally, Twitch's entire culture is broken. It's extremely woke. It's probably extremely liberal, extremely left, to the detriment where they have all this stuff. It's like almost like a union shop right now. Like, literally, you need to cut all of that shit out. Like, I bet there's like, it sounds like there's a lot of bureaucracy there as well. Like,
There
I would
is.
get rid of most of that.
Yeah.
All of that bureaucracy needs to go.
Like 6 PMs for one product, that kind of thing, you know. That's standard shit. Yeah. You've seen plenty of tech companies like this. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I hate Elon Musk, but that motherfucker fired 90% of the people, and guess what? Twitter's still fucking running.
It's fine. Yeah. They're not even a day of downtime, right? Like,
well, I mean, it's had some bad days, but like it's been fine.
But
right?
game is game. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He knew that there was fucking fluff. There was just overage. It was just a waste. It wasn't needed. Granted, Twitter is not great right now, especially on the trust and safety department side of things. But that said, he got rid of like all the engineers.
Yeah.
He got rid of everyone. He said, we're going to build some fucking shit. And you know what? That motherfucker was pushing out features every day. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, guess what? We're selling fucking Twitter Blue now. Hey, guess what? We're doing video calling now. Like with old Twitter.
Like there's all kinds of stuff that's new. Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's stupid things, right? I'm not saying that they're good at what they do, but they are pushing out features and they're doing shit.
Yeah.
Right? Twitter Spaces. Twitter Spaces.
Creator monetization. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, granted, there's not a lot of money in making money as a creator on there, but still they are doing it. And under the old Twitter, I shit you not, that was the same website from 2009 until 2022.
Literally. Yeah.
No changes ever. The whole time. Not one fucking thing.
Yeah. Exact same website, exact same moderation, exact same like everything. Yeah.
Like it's kind of like Reddit. I mean, I put Reddit in the same boat as that. But I guess to Reddit, that's a little bit of a benefit because they've changed almost nothing. That's what caused it to be so successful, kind of like Craigslist, but it didn't work like that. Like people point to Craigslist and they're like, listen, this is good. This is why you shouldn't like go and do a fancy new design or have a mobile app or any of this other stuff. And I look at them and I say, I understand that your site is easy to use. It doesn't have any bullshit, but you are a bunch of fucking morons that did not have a mobile app until, I mean, I've been saying this for a while, so I don't know, but like maybe like 2019 or something. They didn't have an iOS app, right? It's like, what the fuck? This is not like, ooh, we're some cutesy little startup that we're only available on web. You're just a fucking moron. Let's go and offer up exist because you are stupid. That's it. Those are billion-dollar companies that have basically come in and molested your business because you're too stupid to have made like a decent mobile app. That's what happened. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation where, like, did Craigslist survive because it was like, oh, the cutesy app that everybody's used to, or did it survive because there was no significant competitors? They just, like, they got lucky with the space they were in. Like, they didn't need to make that much revenue to run the website as it is because it's literally an image posting board, like that kind of stuff, right? Like, yeah. And like, I'd argue that, like, Craigslist got cannibalized a huge amount by Facebook Marketplace and, like, the stuff that it made, like, in terms of its production. So, like, there's always a cost to not innovating. Always.
Yeah. I mean, certainly, there's always a cost to innovating, but I mean,
to not innovating. To your point, your point about Craigslist.
I mean, to both things, but yeah, but historically, companies that stand still always end up losing eventually. Always. Now they can last a while and be kingmakers like Intel, but eventually, if you stand still, someone comes in and fucks your shit up. That's it.
Exactly.
You have to always be innovating, even if that means keeping your core product the same. Like an example of this is like, you know how bad Twitch engineering is right now? Twitch is a company. It's getting to the point for me where I would never, ever hire anyone that was ever in the marketing, advertising, or management team of Skype. Ever. I would never, not a single person. I don't care. If I find out that you worked for Skype, I will not hire you, ever.
That makes sense to me, yeah.
Right? Because this is a company that was a verb, Devin. It was a verb for our time. We all used it.
Yeah.
You would say, "Hey, Skype me later," right? And it wasn't cringe. That's literally what everyone used. It was the Discord app, and they threw it all away because some PMs thought it would be cool to try and make a really shitty Slack version of Skype, and it killed the product.
Agree.
Completely.
Yeah.
That is how bad it feels like Twitch is right now. To a point where if you ever hire anyone who worked in the management of Twitch during this period, you deserve every fucking bad thing that happens to your company. Like it's so bad, I would just rather say that I was unemployed for 4 years than say that I worked at Twitch. That's how bad it is.
You're still going, right? Even after everything that's happened, right? Like you're still committed the same way. Right.
I'm not stopping until Dan Clancy is fired or resigns.
Would you so if a new CEO steps in,
I will absolutely stand down completely because I already know what it means. It's like they don't even have to say anything to me. If they're like, "Hey, a new CEO is coming in," I'm done. And the reason is so obvious. It's because when a new CEO comes in, he's like, "Hey, you fucking retards, what the fuck did you guys do with the place? Like, he's not going to be like, all right, the old guy's out, same as the old, let's keep going, let's get in the shop. He's going to be like, what the fuck happened?
But
What did you guys do? You guys need to get the fuck out of here. You need to get the fuck out of here. You need to get the fuck out of
I
here.
guess
And like, yeah,
what I'm worried
it's just
about
natural.
is that Dan Clancy was that new CEO over Emmet, and that didn't happen. So what I worry is like,
well, he was
right. So like, what if we get a new CEO, but it's the same kind of story?
wasn't he an engineer? Never make an engineer a CEO.
Yeah, Clancy was on the tech side of the product, and then before that, he worked for like he had a weird history. I remember looking at it. It's on Wikipedia. We can look.
It's like NASA and next.
Yeah, it's like some weird shit. Like
don't. This is my big piece of advice. So you're a startup CDO. I'm a startup CEO.
Yeah.
My biggest piece of advice that I always give to people. Maybe I should make a video on this if I haven't already.
You should. Yeah.
The big thing. It's very simple. Okay, your napkin determines the programmers, not the other way around. Imagine the perfect product in your mind. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Write it out on a napkin, how it looks, the buttons, what they do, the experience you have. Imagine the perfect experience of a website that does whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Put that on paper and then say, hey, engineers, go build this.
Yes.
You always start that way. You never start with a way to say, hey, listen, we have some crazy tech. What should we build? When you do that, you get Dan Clancy. You put an engineer in charge, you get the worst fucking product. Always.
My experience with this has been
design.
exactly the same. It's because so rarely do you ever get a visionary that is going to be an actually great CEO. Sorry, an engineer that's ever going to be a visionary and be a great CEO. And that's why you don't see like any of the major like great CEOs that are running companies right now, like Satya and like those and like Jensen are not engineers. Like Jensen started as a fucking janitor, right? Like he saw the company all the way up. He never worked in engineering. Like that I totally agree with you. I think that's like incredibly on point. It seems like Dan Clancy worked for like NASA and Nextdoor and like a bunch of like weird like stuff. So you
know what Dan Clancy should do? Dan Clancy should be like, if you've seen Silicon Valley, he should be that really weird dude who's like inside the data center. He can be that guy. He can be in charge of like the Twitch data center.
Like a CTO Seattle. Type or something.
No, not a CTO. He can be the weird guy inside of a data center.
Like an IT PM.
Yeah, he's like managing 10 people inside of like Virginia data center 2, and that's his job. That's what he can do.
You know what's another really weird thing that no one's ever talked about with the Twitch situation? It wasn't just Emmett at the time. I'm reading the Wikipedia and I just realized something. It wasn't really Emmett at the time that was like super calling the shots on Twitch. He had a whole C-level suite of like Mike Aragon, who was like the chief content officer. I had a weekly call with that dude, and like he was in charge of like what the content was and the enforcement policy. And then there was Sarah Clemens, right, who I didn't know, but she was she was very significant. She was C something. What is it with like we don't have any C-level executives at Twitch that I know of that are actually like normally like if you're running a company at this size, you've got a COO, you've got a CTO, you've got a CFO. Like, are those people?
Yeah, I had to look up who the CTO was. I didn't even know.
Do those people even exist? Like, do they have a C-level team right now? Do they have a C-suite at Twitch at all?
Yeah, there's a CTO there. Yeah.
Okay. What are they doing?
I don't know.
Is there a chief content officer like there was like for Aragorn? Like,
listen, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like, this is stuff we should know. Like, yeah.
What was I thinking? Oh, you know what I wanted to address, but I couldn't because Slasher ran beforehand, is the comment about the woman that was hired that like was suspended or whatever, stepped down from her last job so publicly for being anti-Israel. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
I don't know. I don't do the politics stuff, but yeah, I know this. I know the story.
Yeah. So like the big like it's Ofcom suspends director for over anti-Israel views, and it's like the most. I mean, here's the fucking like that's what we're talking about. Like that. That's all you need to know, right?
Okay.
That was regardless of what this person, regardless
Mm-hmm.
of what this person said. Why would you ever hire them to lead policy or trust and safety or anything? Like even if they were completely innocent, the optics are so unbelievably poor for your company to hire someone like this in this position. Usually, unfortunately, if you're innocent of crimes or whatever, but unfortunately, when this type of thing happens to you, when you're so suspended, I mean, again, this person was brought up in Parliament in front of the Prime Minister in UK. That's like if fucking I went before Trump type of shit in Congress. Like that's how insane and how public this type of thing was. Okay. If that happened, I'd be like, I'm probably not working in trust and safety anymore, would be my guess. Okay, I'm probably gonna be like working in a different career. I don't think I could, right? Like the fact that this person was hired by Twitch that's like another like one of those like, do we put this up to incompetency? Like, is just Dan Clancy really fucking stupid? Or is he like, this is exactly what I'm looking for?
Mm.
Bingo. Right? And it's like, at what point do we be like, okay, well, I don't know. How many leaps of faith do I have to give this guy for him not to be an anti-Semite? And the answer is a fucking lot.
Yeah, I mean my position is just like from the advertiser perspective, like I don't really have like a clear like take on that. Like my position is I think you are coming at it from that angle and I'm coming at it from a different angle, but we're arriving at exactly the same conclusion. Basically, that's where I'm at. Yeah. I hope that if Dan steps down, it fixes it. I don't know
It will.
if
It will.
you think so. Yeah.
I mean, because I think, well, there's this thing. I've only seen it once, but I think it's probably a thing that when a CEO leaves a company, there's flight that goes. The people that are ideologically aligned with that CEO will go with them, right? It's not like the CEO is not going to be fired, and then like you're going to have the woke staff that's still going to be there, right? It doesn't. It's not going to work that way, right? So they're going to go naturally out the door with them. Like if Dan Clancy is fired, it's not like the trust and safety team is showing up tomorrow and be like, all right, so what are we doing, boss?
Yeah,
they're probably like, ooh, yeah, that's not. I think I'm gonna start looking for another job. Okay.
The problem is that like under Emmett, a large amount of that TNS team did transfer over to Clancy. That's like my issue. But I think you're absolutely right. The situation is different now. We would probably get a pipe hitting Amazon executive that's like, all right, boys, like the game plan has changed. You know? Yeah, it's different.
It does. I don't think it needs a businessman. Like, I don't think you want like a button-up suit in that guy. No, I think you need someone like a startup guy. You know, the best person to run Twitch? I already have the answer to it. You know who the best person to run Twitch is? It's some startup right now that's worth like $100 million or $50 million. You acquire that company and have that guy be the CEO because he's a fucking startup founder and he's hungry and he's fast and he's not going to put up with the bullshit and he knows how to ship products. That's what you do. I don't know if I would bring in like a seasoned guy who's like all they know is like, direct reports and I run Amazon Music and 300 people. I think what you do is like, I don't know. I don't even know a good example of a company they would acquire, but you acquire something or you find someone that's in that type of position and you have that person come in there.
So you think you need like a full blown like startup mentality, like super cut costs. Yeah. Like, yeah, that's probably right. Yeah.
You need to come in there and like start over and be like, okay, we got to keep this thing on life support, but we're building something new. That's it. Right. It's like you almost make twitch.tv become old.twitch.tv and you start right away working on new.twitch.tv, and old.twitch.tv is what it is and it keeps working and it's kind of a shit show, but eventually new.twitch.tv will be the new experience and then old will go
you
away.
Actually could do it, right? Like you could literally do just that you actually do an old.twitch.tv and say we're changing the whole thing.
I think probably so many of the problems with this company have to just do with the fact that there's so many people who have been there for 1,000 years and they're cancer. And like when someone new comes there and is like, hey, why don't we do a Patreon thing on our site? And then some stupid PM or some stupid developer is like, oh no, we can't do that.
What that ends up happening so often is like these good ideas, they just become discussions like that just get lost because like that was like so many things like the Twitch Safety Council and all that stuff, right? Like there's supposed to be this new oversight community that can like do what you were originally saying, which is like, oh yeah, like we can we can like actually introduce this to streamers and we can have people like have this like impartial group of people that are like you. Doesn't work out because there's 7 PMs that need to insert all of their ideas and do everything, right? Like it's so frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. The real question is, so there's still more press like dropping on this issue, right? It's not over.
Yeah, I know. People think it's over, but it isn't over.
No, like
it's nowhere near over.
Yeah, there'll be more press dropping. There'll be more congressional stuff and everything. I mean, there's going to be some. The amount of people that are contacted, there'll absolutely be people because people in Destiny's community are actually kind of outraged a little bit, and that's probably because he's done so much like Israel coverage and things along those lines. Like, people unironically really did contact their congressman. Like they didn't just say, I'm going to contact my congressman. They actually fucking did. Like a good portion of them did. Yeah. And like when you get that many people contacting, like one
stuff
of these
starts happening. Yeah.
Something's going to happen. I just wonder how long Dan can survive. That's the whole thing I'm wondering. Like, can this possibly go on for another month? Because I can last a month. It's very easy for me. Every day, me and like a few people, we go on the site, we browse around, We look to see what ads are playing, make a video of them playing before some clip that's really vile or whatever that, hopefully, like, and Twitch is going to try and be clever and try to find all, like, okay, we're not going to show ads on Hassan content anymore, or on this content or anything else like that,
Mm.
right? Like, but you'll just find one clip and then you'll make a ton of videos and you put up the website, like twitchhatesjews.com, right? You do that, you put up the website, you have a bunch of logos on that website, and each logo you can click it, and then right away you see a nice, beautiful advertisement for Chevron, all about how they care about the environment, everything, and then it's a video, the whole thing, and then the next second you see, some unhinged shit being said in their ad right across it, and that's how you force their hand.
I
mean,
wonder if you
granted,
haven't already done. See, this is why, like, I like the take that you're on now. Like, that's that I didn't mean to come on originally. This how you hit them professionally like this is, I think, how you do like the real damage.
Yeah, the problem is that this is so much harder to do and requires so much more people.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And what I was saying before is that it's a lot easier. Okay, and I want to be clear. I'm still doing this part also, but I want to be clear. It's a lot easier to just make Dan Clancy's name be associated with anti-Semitism for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I know.
And he does not want that. He does not want it so that when you Google his name, it says Dan Clancy, anti-Semite. That's not good. That's something that will never, ever, ever go away. And you would think that he'd be like, okay, I should probably, do something here. I don't want to like have my name permanently associated with this. But what happens, and I think this is the miscommunication, is like he may be so much of a fucking asshole that he doesn't care, like Destiny. Someone will just ride it out. And when that's the case, you have to start being like, okay, Dan doesn't care about his name. The people that know about this policy of banning Israel, like the employees that are directly involved with this, did they care about it? Did they know about it? Right? And if I said like family or something like that, like I probably shouldn't have said that. I don't mean family, but I do mean the fact that like everyone who touched this code is complicit in it, and they are all fair targets of ridicule for what they've done. If you went and you put that fucking Twitch ban in place and you knew about it for a year, or you deleted a support ticket, you deserve to have your name be put out there and talked about. Especially because there's no fucking staff letter to the CEO from the employees of Twitch
that actually
we disapprove of the behavior that's there. We call for an immediate resignation and a radical overhaul of trust and safety to be fair for all people. That's not happening. So if they care so fucking little about Israel being banned for a year, why the fuck should I care about their high-paying job? And let's be real here, okay? I understand it's definitely a woke culture, and they're like, man, I can't fucking say anything. I say anything, they're gonna chastise me. Fuck you. Say something. What's gonna happen? I'm sorry, you're gonna lose your fucking 7-figure job or 6-figure job? Are they gonna fire you because they said that you shouldn't ban Jews? Well, sorry. That's, you should do it anyways. I don't give a shit. Is right at the end of the day. If you're silent, you're complicit. There's some like cool quote about like silence is violence or some shit like that, and it's true.
Or like the true evil is doing nothing or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. All that it takes for Dan Clancy to hurt the Jews is for psychotic blue-haired Twitch staff to do nothing.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm like I can't really engage on this level.
No, I understand, but I would say executives, okay. Like, I don't necessarily mean the engineer that was just told what to do, and he has no say. I do fault these engineers for not creating a letter telling the CEO to step down and saying that we should have radical change. I definitely fault them because they should know what the fuck's going on. But every fucking executive, I guess, like in program, or not programmer, but like leadership terms, I would say everyone that's L6 or above is fair game. 100% if you're L6 or above. And to be clear, that's like, so L9 is a CEO. L8 is a CTO, COO. L7 is like a dude in charge of 6 people. And then L6 is like the various leaders of trust and safety. So L6 and above is fair game.
Do you 100%. Think they know what's going on with the advertisers right now? That like
they all do.
L5 and L6 know.
You want to know how I know they all know?
Yeah.
More than half of them have deleted or privated their LinkedIn. Fucking cowards.
Oh, really? I see. That's actually pretty crazy. Okay. Huh.
Coward, but little fucking anti-Semite cockroaches that are fucking weaseling away under the refrigerator when I dare to fucking call out their name.
So what point did they do that?
At what point do we start? I don't know.
No. What point did they private?
Yeah, day two.
Yeah, I mean, like, my position is, like, I can't, like, I not only can I not do it, but I also don't want to, like, get on the train of, like, they are or are not anti-Semite, it is or it is not political. It's just like, and I actually still maintain that it's not even relevant for you to do it. I understand why you're doing it, because you've got personal stake in the game, and, like, I like, and, like, your opinion matters, and you should do it, but, like, I can't get on that track. Like, it's just not, where we meet, I think, in the middle is, like, that there is serious favoritism, there's serious extremist content on the platform, and at every level that needs reform at a minimum. And that reform,
it's so stupid, because my number one problem, I think, at this point is they've let these insane lefties,
left or right, my argument is, if you had, let's say that the entire team was,
they're brainwashing our kids. Like, unironically, because people watch Twitch, and this is what my fucking kids are seeing, and that's what fucking makes me mad.
But what I'm saying is, like, my position is that, let's say that this was a total right-wing website, okay? And, like it was, I don't know right-wing influencers, but just list all the right-wing influencers that run it.
Oh, Twitter.
And, like, my position would still be exactly the same. That whether it be right or left or whatever, like, just get rid of all of it, and, like, let's play video games. Like that's where I'm at.
I know. I still think it could. I still think it could be saved. Like, that's not a problem for me. Like, I still think it could be saved. I think the reason, you know why it's so extreme, though? It's because they keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and nothing happens to them. So they become more and more and more unhinged, more and more and more extreme. Like, for some reason, they're allowing it on the left. Like, if there was Nazis on the site and they kept pushing it every day and they were doing the same thing, they would be banned. Like, I unironically believe that if you put Nick Fuentes and you just put him in a Hassan suit, okay, and said the exact same things, if you put Hassan in a Nick Fuentes suit, that's what I mean, he would be banned instantly. Does that make sense to you? Like, tomorrow, if you set up twitch.tv/Nick Fuentes and you just put Hassan inside of his body, said all the exact same things that Hassan did, he would be banned in a day. In a day, he would be banned instantly.
I mean, regardless, like, but the result is the same, right? Like, we just, like, can't have that content on the platform. Like, do you see a universe where this platform continues to go forward with, and let's say that there is fair enforcement of political content across the entire platform? You see a world where that can exist, and, like, that's okay?
Where what can exist?
Just like the universe where Destiny, Hassan, this guy Nick, you're saying, all those other guys, they exist on the website. Is that your ideal world? Like, or like,
do I want, like, a free speech thing? No, I think there should be guardrails, and I think that.
What do you think? This is interesting. We've never gone here. So, what do you think those guardrails should be?
Like YouTube.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I guess this is cool. So now we're kind of, like, the heart of the issue, because it's like, I completely agree with you. I guess the only place we differ is I don't think that can be done by humans. I think that the YouTube CDN is so advanced that the only way for that to actually happen.
But there's still rules, by the way, and there's still people that will look at stuff if you bitch and moan enough at the end of the day on YouTube. So YouTube knows if you're, like, doing a study group talking about the history of like the Middle East, and you're reading out, like, different conflict things, and you're reading a terrorist quote followed by, like, a quote from Israel. Like, they know that, and they're not going to just instantly ban. They're not going to be like, "Nope, there's a terrorist stream, ban them." Like, they're not that stupid enough. And there's people that will look at it and get context. And it feels like on Twitch, like, I watched an obvious TOS violation, and I reported it. I've done this multiple times. First off, I've never gotten a response. I'm going on 3 days now of no response on my report. I don't know if I'll ever get one. Maybe I'll just never get a response. Twitch has taken no action, right? I saw a TOS violation, clear as day, reported it, and nothing has happened to that person. I mean, it's broken.
So let me give you this argument, okay? Like, tell me what you think of this, right? Slasher and I were kind of having a discussion, because Slasher said that you can't afford to get rid of, like, all of the politics streamers on Twitch and then, like, run the website. And I kind of took issue with that. I showed him the stats, and I said, like,
why?
Well, it's like, it ends up
ads aren't even that much of a money.
Yeah, it ends up being pretty negligible. So
like, everyone thinks they're so fucking important. You know, like, the joke is, like, when you talk about viewership, it's like all these American streamers are like, "Oh, we're such a fucking big deal," and then, like, People are like, bro, who the fuck are you? This one random Hispanic guy you've never heard of has more followers than every single person in your entire state.
Yeah, exactly. So the question then becomes like, okay, we could build a CDN, we could get a partial moderation team, we could like maybe like get this to work, and like, you know, we could finagle this, and like we could make it like YouTube and like could build the systems. Or it seems like we can ban the 4% of total people that are creating like this extreme political content all across the board, right and left, and then we'd be done. Doesn't that seem like an easier answer?
Yeah, I mean,
and that's where I'm at.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, man, I'll let you go. It's a good chat.
Yeah, this is. Thank you.
You want to put some money on how long you think Clancy will last?
I mean, no, because I'm gonna fucking lose. You're too scary, dude.
I have no idea either how long he'll last, because he could, you know, for instance, Twitch could announce tomorrow that they're looking to divest of the company and Dan Clancy will remain as CEO until that happens, and that could be like a year, right? I have no idea. They could do that. The question is, how do you think it'll be, over or under 3 months? And I think it's under.
I think it's under too.
Yeah,
I would not take a bet against you. I think people had taken a bet. Didn't XQC take a bet against you?
Yeah, and he did 6 months.
He's a madman.
Listen, I would go, oh my god, you know what the bet was? I get a 1984 Nissan 300CX Anniversary Edition in manual 5-speed, and if I lose, you're not gonna. This guy, he doesn't even know who he's talking to. Do you know what I have to do if I lose?
Okay, what do you have to do?
I have to wear a cat suit.
You already wear cat suits all the time.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
So
he thought he was like getting me or something.
Oh no!
I couldn't believe it. I was like, bro, I'll do that for free. Are you kidding me?
God!
Like, oh man, poor XQC.
No! He buys you a new car.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, granted, this is like a $10,000 or $20,000 car. It's not like a fucking Ferrari or anything like that. I don't know. It's funny.
Oh no!
I don't know. I'm super disappointed in Dan Clancy. I think must be a selfish person, because anyone else would have fallen on their sword right now to protect their employees. It actually makes me fucking a little bit mad. I would do a lot for my employees. Like, if they started getting harassed, I'd get really fucking pissed.
Yeah, me too.
I would go fucking beast mode, right?
Yeah.
And he's like a fucking pussy bitch that does nothing. Does nothing to protect them. Does nothing to anything. Fall on your fucking sword, you dumb piece of shit.
I mean,
like, you're shit at your job, obviously. You're incompetent. Like, he had meetings today all day with advertisers. All day.
Definitely.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
And every single one of them was like, hey, we're pausing our ads. We're not going to keep going. You know, maybe some of them were like, never again. Some of them were like, until you give us an amazing plan. That's what he was doing all day today. And this dumb motherfucker thinks he can salvage it.
He probably thinks he can. Yeah.
I can't wait, Dan. I hope you fucking find my IP address, because then I can just use my cell phone. You're going to need to geo-block all of fucking Florida, because every day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to look for ads. And when I see ads, I'm making a fucking video, and I'm going to make sure it's by the most vile, reprehensible shit you've ever seen in your fucking life. You are fucked. You will not beat me, okay? There is no chance. Just fucking resign before it gets any worse. You anti-Semite fuck.
Okay, Dan.
Sorry.
Dan, if you ever have a reason to get this angry with me, okay, please call first before you ruin my life.
Sorry. All right, I'm gonna go. Have a good rest of your
I'm glad we had a follow-up talk. This is good.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna message you some stuff like privately later about things I'm hearing.
All right. Cheers.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
Did I get COH'd? So I'm in the middle of an EverQuest raid that I'm late for. And so I'm gonna have to hop off pretty fast, but that was actually a good talk. Yeah, I'm glad that we got to chat. I mean, you got to say Dan is dedicated. like that guy is locked in, man. I would not want him as an enemy. I think it's like pretty clear where I stand. Like, I'm not in with like all the political stuff and stuff like that. I understand it. Like, I understand the arguments on both sides. I'm not like really here to take a position on that either way. But I am I'm of the position that like basically Dan and I have come back to the same place, which is that trust and safety needs a complete overhaul. The CEO at a minimum needs to step down. There needs to be a serious evaluation by Amazon and Twitch on the situation. And I think we're pretty close to agreeing, both of us. Where I differ is like, I'm just coming at this from like sort of the business perspective. And then he does see a world where like advertising and political content and that sort of thing is possible. He does see that world. I just think that like it's been a decade of time where the moderation team has already like demonstrated that they can't handle this. And so I don't know if we're likely to see a reform even, but like Dan's point is pretty good that like if we saw like an exacting CEO, like a really badass exacting CEO, I think a lot of things would change. Do you really think that Clancy made the company worse, or do you not remember 2 years ago? I think it's worse in ways that matter a lot more to the existential threat of the platform. In terms of like the content delivery and in terms of like the actual content of the website, sorry, the technology on the website, it's there are some things that are the same or better, but as far as the actual like situation at Twitch, yeah, significantly worse. Yeah, but like feature wise, like sure, yeah. Yeah, so I apologize to everybody because like I'm kind of trying to keep out of the like political sphere a little bit. I'm trying, I hope you guys understand that I'm trying to cover the issue that's happening with Twitch, and I'm trying to give you guys like a fair take on it without getting too deep into like the is or isn't it, the left or right type of stuff. It's been a challenge. So for people that come to this stream to not watch that stuff, I'm with you, and we will not be like platforming that stuff or like be doing like heavy political content. It's just a really difficult line to walk right now. I'm really trying to like focus on the business perspective, and there's a lot of like kind of heated emotion, and you know, like depending on like I respect Dan's opinion on it. Like Dan is completely entitled to have that view and to showcase it. And obviously, if the if he didn't have something to it, the ADL wouldn't be going in as hard as they are. So like there's a lot to be said. I'm just trying to keep it. I'm just trying to keep it neutral and like from a business perspective as much as I can. So I appreciate your guys' patience with that, because it's tough. It's tough to toe that line. I want to always keep professional, and I want that messaging to be professional as much as I possibly can. So I'm glad we got to have that discussion, because I think we were able to see both sides of it. Yeah, if you understand like Dan's like position, like Dan is Jewish himself. I mean, he has a lot of reasons to be very angry about this and see it from the perspective that he does, for sure. You failed big time, but I hear you though. Great content as ever. Sorry, man. I tried. I really did. It's hard. It's hard. Glad you're keeping the channel away from politics, but not going to blame you for dipping into it now and then. I'm really, really trying. I mean, I truly like, dude, I have no position on it. Like, I'm not even like one of those people that has like an opinion and like is like hiding their take. Like, I literally do not care about this. Like, it's so frustrating being a week out from like the election and everything in the US, because it feels like everything that is being talked about is politics, left or right, this or that, divisive, blah, blah, blah. I just want it to be over. I can't wait to go back to like anything else. It's exhausting to me. As far as like my perspective, like personally, I literally just want to run my business the best I can, play video games, talk about cool business and marketing shit. And then like, you know, like that's like my whole position. I don't want to, election year is just like super painful. I've said I don't know enough to have a strong opinion, got yelled at for 10 minutes. Yeah, like you're an enemy even if you don't vote. like that's the thing. It's like, it's just, there's no winners in this discussion. It's just losing, you know? Like everything's political, you know? Don't blame me, bro. Yeah, of course someone's going to be passionate. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. Glad you had this conversation. I wasn't sure if you'd talk about the situation because it involved political critters, but it knew it had business implications. Yeah, it's like it's instrumental to the platform, right? Like it's really, we're talking about the future of Twitch, and I think that, you know, Dan Saltman, the guy we just talked to, is going to be a big part of the future of Twitch, because he is really dictating a lot of what is happening at an advertiser level right now. So I think that Twitch better pay attention to him. The issue is inherently political, but you manage to keep it mostly towards business. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you guys for your support. Like really appreciate that. It's this stream is hard. It's hard to run this stream, so I really appreciate it. That's good. Will this turn into a YouTube video on the channel? I haven't decided. I don't know. Maybe. It kind of depends if my editors feel like there's something to get out of it. Is 70% a true figure? I don't know. For me, I hear what is happening anecdotally, and it is definitely very damaging. How damaging will appear in, you know, the next 6 months as we kind of like run that calculus as agencies. I'm just like a different type of creator now. Like I used to, I like, you know, everybody goes through that phase. Like I had my like drama phase. I'd say like extreme hot takes, but I just want good vibes. And like, man, if I could get away with it, dude, I would just be playing this and like, Factorio and Dyson Sphere program, but no one would watch that shit, so we do business. But yeah, that's like the kind of like, I like providing value to people and making people walk away from the stream and feel like, oh, like you, like, oh, I really got something out of this. This was like something that was like really valuable to me and that sort of thing. Like that makes me feel really good. Yeah, of course, man. I like, this platform is such a huge part of my upbringing. I mean, like I'm here because of Twitch. Like my esports career and my agency career was possible because Twitch enabled that for me, and I don't want to pretend that it didn't. So I'm advocating for the website because I want the website to get better. Like, I think that the state of it is sad, and even the people that are really emotionally charged and angry, I think are coming from the position that it's like, man, we wish this thing was better. And that's why I kind of come from the position of like, you know, I could easily go on Twitter and be like, I'm calling for a total ban of the platform. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, we should drop everything and like go to YouTube or whatever. But that's not my position. My position is like, I want this website to be the website that I fell in love with. I want this website to be about games, about craft, about music, about stuff that is like freaking cool and shows live streaming. And it's like TikTok Live and YouTube Live have managed to create those ecosystems. I believe it is possible, but Twitch still has that niche as the gaming website. It still is possible to do. And I wish we'd just go back to it.